Jeez. Banger. Okay, so let's go through each of these slides and things and just kind of react to it. So let the games begin. So I think that highlights the fact that it is a focus on multiple games. It's not a secret that that's been done. I think that where a lot of people have the assumption, whether it's right or wrong, is that, okay, how far away in development are some of these other games that are before, because we have the talk about the AAA titles and everybody knows that that component's going to take a while to come to fruition. But for some of these other ones that potentially don't require as much behind it, is it going to be okay? We get like a game every 3 months. Is it going to be something that there is actually 2 of them within the first month? That'll all be told and seen throughout this, but I'm curious to see, and this highlights that fact. How many PV assets do you still have? I think like 200, maybe 300 or so, and that's not including like the PAL and the punks. Okay, so your classic heroes, this is putting an absolute emphasis on the meta heroes. If you haven't seen, they were basically at below an ETH like a week ago, and now they're at 1.3 ETH. So again, something I've been kind of like doing, and why we haven't covered too many of these newer projects is we're seeing, and what we've seen in the past is, hey, we kind of have this, here's the money being raised in the initial hypes, DGods, the Ute list thing. That would be a fantastic example of that, of, hey, okay, we are raising these funds and it could be hyped up, but then it's like, okay, then we have to wait a bit for things to happen. And even some of the best ideas, which potentially Pixel Vault could be one of the best ideas, or can be, it's taken like X amount of time for them to deliver these sorts of games. So for me, I'm always looking at stuff that's kind of gone quiet, it seems like, for people that's going to have a chance here. And so Heroes going to be a focal point. Villains going to be another one. And then Mutants. So I was on a Twitter space with Volinsky talking about Mutants. I think that they are one of the things within the ecosystem that hasn't really gotten much of a light. Goose Eggs, if you know who that is their game kind of creator or game lead for them, and he's got his PFP all done up as a mutant, and we know that it's one of the most expensive NFTs within the ecosystem, and it's always been that way. If you see one typically below like 10 ETH, it gets scooped up very, very quickly, and it's all speculative nature with that. Now, the next slides and whatnot, it talks about how this is going to be a 3v3 game. So I'll break down Teamfight Tactics a little bit from the fundamental levels of what I know about it, but there's a chance that Mutants could play a huge part in that, where, when I play a certain character in League, or when the other team picks one, you're like, oh, that's, a very strong champion, and you have like excitement around there. I'm curious if they use these mutants within this auto battler and they're stronger. So if you own one of these NFTs, be like, yo, I play this MetaHero game and you got one of those mutants. Those things are amazing in game, but everybody gets to play it. And then the conversation comes in, okay, why is it valuable for that person to hold, et cetera, et cetera. But it could still play in where these are, kind of spicy. Are the mutants the new sidekicks? No. So there's the heroes, villains, and mutants. And this is just kind of, from day one. Day one! Battle on any planet. Okay, so this is the big thing here. This is the big thing here, where I think that it's going to be very interesting about how they play this out. So you can see right here, and this is what made me think of it and realize, oh shit, I already do this in Gods Unchained. Like, I already bought a playing field, and if you play Teamfight Tactics, you can purchase and get these different placemats, arenas, whatever. Now, I don't know how exactly it's all going to play out, but just for speculative measures, or in the terms of, hey, here's what could be possible. What if you have one of these planets and you get a playmat, so when I face you and you have one of the basic ones, I have like a placemat that shows that my land or whatever is on Neptune or the moon or whatever, right? And so there is that kind of initial concept for it that I think is going to be really, really cool if they add it, and I'm curious as kind of the integration as a whole. Mutants are a rare version of MetaHero. And the cores, what about the cores? Cores are a different type of non-generative. Yeah, cores are kind of like the, I guess, like main components of the story. Snazzy, I thought you knew all this stuff about Pixel Vault. I am learning a lot here. Okay, what do we got next? So, Auto Battler. Auto Battler, Auto Battler, Auto Battler, Auto Battler, Auto Battler, Auto Battler. How many times can we say that in a weird, funky way? Let me look up Teamfight Tactics. Teamfight Tactic gameplay. So within here, here's kind of like a quick little idea with it. So you can see the characters on the, let me hide my face for a second. So you can see on the bottom here, we have refresh, you have buy XP, and then you have these different characters. And you can see on the left side of the screen for this guy that's playing, he's got a group of characters that give you the perk of whatever a sorcerer group is, and then whatever wild is. Now, I don't know, but you can make up your different thoughts in it. Sometimes, let's say sorcerer is your ones with that trait get enhanced damage. For wild, maybe they're just really fast at attacking, or they move around the map in some kind of capacity, but you have kind of a board that you're able to develop as the game goes through. And so on the bottom here, you can see, and sorry for the YouTube link, but you can see that for the Kennen, it costs 3, for the Elise, it's 2, and then for the Graves, it's 1. And they're a different color, which highlights the fact that they're all different strengths within there. And basically, it goes from like level 1 to 5 for the strength of these characters. And when you get to level 5, there's only like 4 different characters that do that. And that's the way. Yo, Pitch, come join the voice chat. Let me hear you, bruv. Yo, Pitch, what's up? Can you give me the breakdown of TFT, sir? Yo, are you there? Sir? Sir, are you there? I dragged him down to voice, but he's not saying anything. Yo, he went back. He got cold feet. Yo, this chicken shit. He says that he can explain it and then runs away when I ask him to. Dude, these people are crazy, dude. Jeez. I'm just messing with you. But anyway, so it's basically you match your side of the characters with these different abilities. The opposing team's trying to do it. There's metas that are involved where, hey, this certain kind of component is stronger than another one. And then there's items involved. So it is something when they highlight, because that's the next slide on here, I think. Choose your strategy. Play as your meta hero. Not yet. Almost there. Okay, so that part, we got to go back to this. Remind me, we got to go back to this. Traits equal skills, prepare to power up. Okay, never mind, it wasn't the next thing. There, okay, damn it. Wow, that was like a half of a second of a clip. Okay, so easy to play, hard to master. So because of the in-depth component of this, is that it is very difficult to master, right? It's very difficult to be the top of what it is when you see people. I mean, JVB, if you know JVB within the Discord, he's been grinding that for like hours, and he's getting like a really good ranking within that. And it's a matter of time that not everybody is going to be good at it right away. But the cool part with this is that everybody's going to be learning at the same time when it first comes out. So some people will pick it up quite naturally. There'll be probably different guides that come out with it, and it's cool that this kind of idea is really getting potentially the conceptual complexity is cool to see. So let me go back here. So Auto Battler, choose your strategy. I don't know if they're gonna have it where it's gonna be free to play in any kind of component. Also, I think Bev's threw in their MetaHero in here because I think that's theirs. But the idea, is it going to be free to play? Is it going to be if you have a MetaHero? That's the only way to get into it. Is it only the beginning? Yo, Potamus, that is you, sir. Look at this guy. Sheesh. Or let other players draft them, or others draft them. So, I mean, maybe there's a component in here, and I'm pretty sure this is Goose Eggs ones. And then there's the economy. I mean, you can tell it's funny because you're slowly, I think that's Balker, you're slowly putting in and there's Chris Wall, right? You can start naming these different characters, and it takes you outside of the landscape of, hey, like, it's just a game, because most people would look at that, but if you're really ingrained within the ecosystem, there's another layer to it. So it adds another bit of complexity, where for people that end up becoming super fans of things down the line, potentially you'll be able to see them go back and be like, oh, yo, in this early video, I remember seeing Potamus's MetaHero in here, holy effing jeez, right? I think that component's kind of cool with it. How they're going to allow others to draft them, that I don't know. Is it like a Z-Run idea where you have stables? Is it something that you are able to do anything else with? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Traits equals skills. So this is where I'm kind of like, I hope they do it a certain way, but I'm willing to be wrong with this. So if I'm comparing teamfight tactics to what we've kind of seen with this, and the idea that this could be somewhat similar, is within teamfight tactics, and I mean even Illuvium, the characters are very, very different, right? And so when you go and you look at the different meta heroes, I think that you can comfortably say some of them look very different, but you know, relatively all of them are the same. Oh, hold on. Okay, please don't. Yo, Jesus. You ever have your girlfriend come in the room and tell you all like the stuff that you don't want to hear? That just happened. But anyway, so the for the different traits within here, I think that there's the problem of
don't worry,
potentially.
I'm not breaking up with him.
Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, so the different.
It's my purchases with NFTs. He's disappointed.
You're fine. You're fine. Okay, so, yo, ETH just below 1K. Wait, did it actually? Yo, did it actually, or are you just messing around here? Can you imagine? Dude, bro, you made me look? Oh, that's what you thought she said. You have no idea. My heart was just like, oh shit, okay, we might have a problem here if that's actually the case. Okay, but so anyway, back to my train of thought. These, I don't think they look like different enough. So within the game, I'm hoping that, like, you see how there's like angel wings, or I don't know what the trait's called, but that's like very, very noticeable if that's one of the traits that has the ability. Or let's say it's like the cat on the shoulder, and it's a cat that potentially like walks around the characters, and it's very, very evident, because I think like just as the characters, it's not going to be as noticeable, but I really hope that the traits are overemphasized if that's the main focus of it, unless they do kind of a full rebrand. Okay, so the gear pods. The gear pods is another component that I think is kind of interesting. When we look at them, it feels like they are going to just be the rare skins within the video game. There could be more. I think the one concern that people could bring up that's justified is, hey, is it some kind of a pay-to-win component, right? Because I think a lot of you would say, oh, if that person just like pays for that, does that mean that they're better? And then thinking about that further, within Gods Unchained, there's cards that go for 0.4, 0.5, even higher, and that's like their lowest value that you can buy them at, that do definitely give you a substantial advantage. Now, they don't come up a crazy amount, because I think it's really only like 5 or so, and of a deck that has as many as Gods Unchained does, I do think that there's a lot of ones that, you know, it doesn't really affect it. And when I play Gods Unchained, I don't know if I've ever really said, oh my God, they have that card, I can't afford it, so I can't win. I think within self-reflection, as the Gary V would say, it's okay, I messed up this turn here and I couldn't finish the game by this point, so they play that card and I just won, right? I never tell you sound like Dan Carlin. Who in the halibut is Dan Carlin? Sheesh. Gotta look it up. But so I'm curious if there's a massive effect on it or if it's just visual. I think whatever it's decided upon when we see the game, we will know what the future ones will be. So if gear pods like the Nebula pods added to a hero are like pretty substantially better, and the power does give you kind of like a decent sized advantage within the game if you have it, I would expect to see other games that are released have very similar mantra, which, you know, we'll find out if people think that's good or bad, or if they even have an opinion at all. And it's a hardcore history podcast. Ooh. Okay, so again, like, use your planets. I'm trying to think of, like, what other way could they incorporate the planet other than the playmat aspect, and I have no idea. Volume on the 24 hours, $142,000, up 126%. Market cap, we're looking at basically 7 mil. Again, we've gone over this a little bit. Basically, this is how I do things, and I'm always talking about my bags, so like, I'll be aware of that as we're looking in here. But I mean, so the market cap here for Guild of Guardians is at 11. So I'm like, okay, Guild of Guardians, all the stuff looks amazing for it, right? But we know that the game is coming next year, where Pixel Vault literally just announced their game, and they have the presentation on Thursday, and we're currently like we still have double to go. So this hitting 8 cents wouldn't totally shock me. So I'm, you know, we're vibing with it. Yeah.